Alright, we have rolled into day number 2 of dry shell corn. It's really not day number 2. We're kind of rained out right now, but I've got some wiring issues on the combine. We'll show you what we've got going on with it. I've got some wires broke here that go to what I thought was the separator plug sensor. Now this wire harness here, it's in like a almost like a 3/8 gas line tubing here. Of course, this is the straw walkers here, so if you can envision this just shaking like crazy, and it's got the wire harness hooked to it, and you know, this comes over through here. But before I noticed this was broke, I was getting a light and a buzzer was going off up in the headliner for separator plug. So I got with our guys at Kaz Equipment. I said, where the heck is that separator plug sensor? And they said it's up above the straw walker. So we're standing underneath the back of the combine right now, and these are the straw walkers here, and the heavy debris comes up over the top of them, and it ends up going down over the back, and it ends up going through the actual chopper that is on the back of the combine. So I'm looking at these straw walkers, and I see this. There's a sensor here on the right side, and then there's another wire harness that goes up through to the left side. So I said, well, that's got to be it. That's got to be the sensor for the separator, which doesn't make any sense because the separator's all the way up front there. So I was following this through, and this gas line looking type hose here, it actually continued down the wire harness here, and I could see a slight break in the actual harness itself. And I said, bingo, there's my problem. And it would intermittently, the separator sensor light would intermittently go off, and I'm thinking that, you know, there's either a bad wire or whatever, and it's getting a connection and it's not, and you know, just bad connection issue. So I said, bingo, that's it. Well, this here is not the separator sensor wire. What this is grain loss something or other that's on the corner post display of the combine. This is a 9560, so it's got some early technology stuff, if you will, on it, and it just reads on a bar graph. You know, if you've got any issues with grain coming over the top, it must sprinkle down on a little bit of a sensor. I don't know how it works, and I don't even know how long these wires have been broke. I do not pay attention to that part of the corner post. And this wire harness plugs in right here, and it runs, the wire comes down and around, up through, over to a couple of sensors that are right here, and then the sensor wire harness for the wire that's broke comes out here and around and up through. Now, I cannot tell what wire goes to what. You know, we can just put a butt connector on there, you know, something like this here. Put a butt connector on there, bingo bango, we're hooked together, we're going again. But I can't tell what wire goes where. So I priced that wire harness, and from what they told me, they said this wire harness is 1,300 bucks. So we're gonna go without that for now. Now, the actual separator sensor is actually way up above there. I want to say it's right, well, I really haven't narrowed it down yet. I've got to look into that now. I was able to get the buzzer to go off, and if we look up above, I thought it was right up in there. So what I ended up doing was I'll step out of here for a minute. So what I ended up doing was to get the buzzer to go off, I took the headliner down and I unplugged the damn all the idiot lights that come on. I unplugged that so the damn freaking buzzer would go off. Well, I was having intermittent issues then with the harvest lab. So we're gonna get fuel going in here. We're gonna dive into that. What I think is the sensor, which I'm not sure, had a couple little pieces of corn cob in it. Maybe that was limiting the switch from working, and it might actually be working now. So we'll get fuel going in. I've got to grease it. We're gonna plug that display in and see if, well, it's not really a display, it's a circuit panel. It's got all these idiot lights on it. So we'll get that done. I'm gonna blow the combine off, and it's raining here, so the combine has got a little bit of a wash job to it, rinse down, but yeah. So we will go ahead and get started here. Okay, so I've got this thing all blown off. I ended up getting some rain showers while I was doing that, and I've got everything greased. I've got to drive it around a little bit. Looks like I've got a couple of the elastic cord hooks there unhooked on the tarp. I've got to get the water off the tarp and put that little cone on the top of the auger. But while I was cleaning the stone trap out, I noticed that I have a deer antler stuck in the tire here. So luckily it went in the tread. I'm hoping that it's only in the tread, but we're gonna have to get that out of there, and hopefully we don't hear any wind coming out of that tire. So we're gonna work on getting this out. Then I have to get the water off that tarp. Boy, that guy is in there. Wow. Oh, God. Alright, the one thing we need to try to prevent here is we need to prevent, well, looks like it's going to happen. We need to prevent that part of the antler from breaking off. It looks like it's coming right out. Man, I don't know how long that's been in there, but yeah. All right, we lucked out. Wow, it looks like it was actually in two spots there. Yeah, almost like the shocker, you know. So we've got that out of there. Sometimes if you have something break off in a tire, and then if it hasn't punctured it, it'll start working its way through the tire. So I'm glad that come out of there. Now if that went in between the tread, that would have ended up puncturing the tire. But these tires are only 2 years old. We actually had them put on last year. They're a radial tire. We had bias tires put well, we had bias tires that were on it from the combine, from when the combine was new. And these radial tires have a more flatter profile, and they actually go farther in the mud. So we're gonna go ahead and get this water off the tarp now, and we've got to hook up some wires yet and work on some stuff in the bin. All right, we are inside the bin now, and it was just shy of a week ago. I ended up having to rebuild this U-shaped bracket that holds the bearing for this auger. It was broke on this back side. I don't know how long it was broke for. I had run it. Well, I don't know how long it was broke for. The damn, see if I can get that bolt out. The damn, I couldn't see it from the cab all that great. So I ended up putting a 1/2 inch piece of flat stock on here, and now we are just getting the longer bolts on here so that we can put this this little U-shaped shroud that goes on the top of it. I can't get that. There. That's in there. Let me set this nut over here. So why don't we go ahead and get this on there, and I'll join back up with you once we get the piece on there. Alright, I've got that shroud on there, and I'm just putting it on because we put these thicker pieces of flat bar on here to fix this U-shaped bracket. I think I have this on there right. It's got the longer flap to it to the front here. Judging by the way the paint's wore off in there, I've got it on there the way it came off. That does not mean that that's the right way to put it on there. I've got it in the middle holes, and the only other way it could go on is flipped over with this part here to the back, and I don't know as if it makes any kind of a difference or not, but I'm sure if I have it on there the wrong way, maybe someone will be able to correct me. Drop a comment down below if you think this is on there the wrong way. We can't switch it over. However, I like it in these two holes here, just so that it doesn't come into contact with the tarp here. It does have the position to go either lower or higher, but we've got it right to the top of the U-shaped bracket. So we're gonna go ahead and climb out, get some wire connectors fastened or put together, and we should be about done here. But as you can see, we got quite a bit of rain, and the inside of this bin is nice and dry. Okay, so I am up in the cab right now, and this separator plugged indicator light was going off yesterday. And then what it does is it sounds the frickin' annoying alarm, and it just makes it absolutely unbearable in here. So I pulled the headliner down. I thought what I could do was just unplug the buzzer, but the buzzer is kind of in the middle of the circuit board that's on this screen here. So I ended up just unplugging the whole circuit board, so I had no warning lights at all once I unplugged that. So now we're gonna pull it down, and we are going to plug it back in, and hopefully the little corn cob or whatever that was in what I think is the sensor is going to take care of it here. So let's pull her down and plug it in and see if we can get that. Hopefully that light's out. That's plugged in, and they put this damn zip tie around it to make sure that it doesn't unplug on you. Yeah, that just goes in there like that. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully that takes care of it. Turn the key on. Okay, so even with just the key on and combine not even running, this light would be on. So that's off. Why don't we try starting? So that separator light is out. So there must have been a little piece of a corn cob or something in there. So let me get these fasteners in here, and then we'll do a couple of rounds and make sure everything's gonna work here. All right, I've got my screw fasteners all in there. Separator engaged, engage the head, and then that's normal for those lights to be on until you bring the RPMs up. So we'll make a couple of rounds here and see how everything reacts or works with everything being plugged back in here. Now there is that light again. So I've obviously got some kind of a problem with that because well, there it goes, it's out again. That's what it was doing the other day too, so alright, that didn't seem to take care of it. So we're going to climb in to the straw walker section here. So I'm up in the back of the combine. There's this door that just flips up. I was down in here last night. Proper lighting here. And I'm going to have to get down in here. Now, they're saying that it's that guy right there that is the unit. Right there, that black thing. So, we're going to see if we can maybe figure it out. So, see, there's another corn cob there. There's just two wires that go to it, other than maybe having something, I don't know, AH1306020. That's the part number. Now, I don't know how it's supposed to respond. I would think that I just don't know. So we just climbed up out of the straw walker area. So this is the unit here where it plugs in. Now I don't know. I'll try unplugging it. Maybe there's a wire broke here or something. I don't know. Boy, these wires are kind of thin. Maybe there's a bad spot in them or something here, but maybe just by plugging and unplugging it, it'll work or stay working. There. All we can do is try it, so that's where it plugs in right there, and then that wire goes down through the top, and that sensor is sitting about right in the center of that piece of sheet metal there. Alright, so we fiddled around with that, and it must have a faulty sensor, and the way that sensor must work, it must come on when the circuit closes. So I tapped on it, screwed around with it, unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it was still bothering. What I ended up doing was I just unplugged it. So there must be something wrong in that sensor where it's shorted out or something. And just by unplugging it, I was able to get rid of the idiot light. So I've never had that separator plugged before anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and combine a little bit, and then we'll have to come back at this tomorrow. It has rained all day here, and the leaves are real wet and everything, so there we go. Well, folks, that is going to do it for this video. I am just going to make one pass down through and back and call it a night. I'm just basically running down through here to make sure everything is working correctly. Outside of that sending unit not working, it appears that the grain loss monitor or whatever's doing what it's supposed to. However, the corn moisture is about 2 points higher than what it was last night just from this rain. So we're gonna have to let this sit until tomorrow, and then we'll get back into it then. If we were doing high moisture corn, I would just be going full speed ahead, and we'd be getting after it. But since we're gonna get penalized a little bit for wet corn, we might as well let it dry out a little bit. Now what we'll end up doing with this corn is we'll just be banking it, meaning when they grind cornmeal and bring it back to us, they'll be taken out of the corn that we are taking into them. This corn is going to Genoa Commodities, and that's where we get our cornmeal from. So that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you for watching. If you have held on until this point in the video, if you could hit the thumbs up, I would appreciate it. It helps the old algorithm out, and it just kind of shares it puts the video up there, and it puts the video out to other people so that they can see it as well. So thanks for watching, folks, and we'll catch you at the next one.